Hey, everybody. Dr. Colleen Sierra here, licensed clinical psychologist and founder and executive director of Sierra Center for Behavioral Health. Thanks for being here. Wanted to come on to tell you guys a quick story. So I was at Trader Joe's the other day, and for the record, I love Trader Joe's. I live in Oak Park, and the Oak Park and Trader Joe's is amazing. They're always amazing, and they've done an especially good job with all of this COVID stuff and making sure that they're being safe and responsible and still their lovely, wonderful, smiley selves. So I love Trader Joe's, for the record. Here's what happened though. I was at Trader Joe's and I was anxious because grocery shopping has become this really anxiety producing thing for me, at least. Everybody's wearing masks, which is great and also strange. I was wearing a mask, which I'm still getting used to. I'm trying to get in and out as quickly as possible because I want to limit my exposure. So it's just become a stressful thing. So I'm in there and I need a couple of apples, and there's a worker there who's got her enormous cart full of produce. And I felt bad asking her. I'm trying to respect the 6 feet, distance, but I felt bad asking her to move her cart. And there was no way I could get to the apples without basically either asking her to move or coming too close. And so I came a little too close. I definitely wasn't within 6 feet. I wasn't all up on her, but I was closer than 6 feet. And she backed away like I was a pariah. And then kind of in a very snotty tone was like, we're all trying to respect social distancing around here. You need to be 6 feet away. And I was like, I know, my bad. I just needed 2 Honeycrisp apples, I swear. And I walked away. And my first thought was, well, then get out of the, I was angry and I was irritated too, and had my own kind of irritable, frustrated reaction. I didn't share any of that, but I was irritable as well. So all of that to say, we're all experiencing this collective trauma where there's so much stress and anxiety. And when there's all that stress and anxiety and we're living up here, we crash and we feel sad. And all of those things just make us irritable. That up and down, anxious, sad, on edge, depleted. All of that stuff is exhausting for us, and it just makes us irritable. So it makes sense that we're all feeling a little irritable. This is certainly not me being on a moral high horse being like, all of you have to be kind. I'm doing an excellent job. I'm not. I'm struggling just as much as anybody else. And here's my plea. We have to be kind to each other. So many people are fighting invisible battles that we don't know anything about. If you see somebody out and they have on an N95 mask, that's the mask that the healthcare providers are lacking right now. The first thought might be to judge them. Like, what the hell? We need to save those for healthcare providers. And even that is a kind thing, right? You might be getting frustrated because you have a loved one who's a healthcare provider. And that person might be sick. They may have received it in the hospital because they're sick. And they may be out even when they're not 100% because they don't have anyone to help. That may be what's going on. Or they might be a doctor or a nurse or a healthcare provider, and they do have access to that mask. There was a lot of stuff I know around here because Oak Park is a really family friendly, focused place about kids being on playgrounds. And I agree. Should we be on playgrounds? No. And there's the yellow police tape around all playground equipment. No, we shouldn't be letting our kids on playgrounds. But there was so much stuff about seeing a mom with her kids, letting them play on the playground, and all this judgment and hostility around that. It's like, well, maybe she was close to hitting them. Maybe she's a single mom and she has no help and she's got no childcare, and maybe she lost her job and she's going nuts and she was going to hurt her kids. And so she thought it was better to take them to the park because she's doing everything she can to be the best mom she can. Maybe that's what's going on. So chill out, right? Here's the thing. everybody is doing their best. And sometimes our best doesn't look great. And sometimes our best really isn't that great. But everyone is doing their best in the situation that is incredibly difficult for a million different reasons, right? A million different reasons. People have different levels of power and privilege, but this situation is difficult for everyone. So instead of taking this time of such difficulty and offering nothing but judgment and shame and guilt and criticism and negativity, instead, can we focus on offering love, kindness, compassion, empathy, and just checking ourselves every time we have a nasty thought about someone else or ourselves, to instead just take a minute and breathe and figure out how we can offer love instead. Because that's what we really all need more of right now. Something to think about. Thanks, folks.